Spheri stood over the dead elf with blood on his hands. He wondered how the elf general had perished. A rustle in the bushes caught his attention as a red goblin scout ran out of the bushes, breathing loudly so that all could hear. He ran towards his flea bag, assuming that he was being chased. He squealed in terror as he hopped on his steed and rode off towards the distant shore. Spheri knew that this would mean war. But who would kill an elf? Hopefully the elves would not think it was him. Their uneasy alliance would not last past the death of a general. Spheri quickly got to his feet and ran as fast as he could to his camp. This was a setup. But why? Spheri walked back to his camp. He couldn't help but think of the dreams he had from months before. He had dreamt of the Forsaken Isles, of the vast resources on the islands that would help his people continue to grow and prosper. With trees hundreds of feet tall, threatening to touch the heavens, and vast green grasslands covering a fertile ground rich with ore. But there was something more. The nightmares had begun like this, with death and blood. The elves would find out, but would they listen? Would his nightmares come true as well? The elves had been informed of their general's death, but the man dressed in black who had brought them this information had vanished as quickly as he had appeared. Their general had perished on the Forsaken Isles by the hand of a dwarf general. Fraught with anger, a small force was dispatched to gain intelligence on their soon-to-be newfound enemy. The rest of the force would come later. If elf blood had been spilled on the island, then so too would the blood of their enemy.
So it's December now, and not November, like we said on the teaser trailer. So sorry, life's been a little hectic. We've had to try out some different games and some different lists, and
the holidays.
And the holidays, yeah. Thanksgiving definitely puts things on the side note. And so hopefully we'll get this bat rep out to you. I don't know if we'll get another one. We might, but at least we'll get this bat rep out before Christmas. So it gives you guys something to look at. This is going to start our campaign series that we have. There's a storyline that is going to go along with this. So every battle actually will be, I guess, make a difference in the storyline of the campaign. So I'm not going to get into too much detail of it now, just because there's going to be some stuff attached to this battle report that will talk about the storyline. But pretty much, Spheri is the important guy on the table. So as far as victory conditions go, obviously whoever beats whoever else is going to win. But if I capture Spheri, that is good. I will obtain some information. If I don't, then we will figure out what goes from there. But we're starting this off with a 1,000-point game. It's a little smaller than what we're used to.
Definitely a lot smaller.
Yeah, right. Different list building. So we were hoping that it'd be something different, bring you guys something different. We know it's been a couple months since we put anything out, and we wanted to bring you guys something different than a same battle report with the same setup, with the same this, same that, same 2,000-point lists. We know it gets repetitive for you guys to watch because it gets repetitive for us to play. So we want to change it up a little bit. We're going to have some different deployment zones as the battle reports go on. We're going to mix things up. We're going to have some different games to do some different mechanics within the game.
Yeah,
so.
It's cool playing 1,000 points. Something different to look at, different list build.
Definitely, yeah. It creates its own challenge for sure, because you really, really fill up those points quick when you start adding in stuff that you want.
Yeah, I got 4 units. It went quick.
And part of that is he did kind of have, I don't know if I'd call Spheri a handicap, but he did have to include Spheri in the list for this game. So that
It's
does
quarter of the points, so it kind of dictated my army how I wanted to build it. But I would put him in there probably.
But pretty much
80% of the time.
This is like a skirmish. Pretty much we are meeting on the Forgotten Isle. There's a small little elf landing force that's there. The Dwarfs are already on the island. They are mining for resources and materials and maybe thinking about making it a defensible space. And the Elves found out some bad news, found out that their general was actually killed, so they're coming to figure out what happened. So it's a small skirmish-style force, really, on both sides, so that's why the armies look like they do. So without further ado, I guess we'll get on with the game. By the way, Jimmy's actually here. So.
Yeah, Jimmy.
He's still alive. So.
He's doing the mannequin challenge thing.
Trying not to talk. Trying to drink as much beer as he can and not talk on camera. So.
Yeah, I'm not here to play. I'm here to get drunk.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So I think this deployment's going to go quick. What do you got? And yeah.
So I got 2 units of Brock Riders, covering flanks.
Okay.
Unit of riflemen, something.
Yep.
Dwarf riflemen in the center.
Nice. Do they have anything, or are they just regular dwarf?
They got the K9.
Okay.
Because you got to give them that.
Definitely.
And then Sphere. It's my 4 units.
All right.
Kind of hold the center. Yep,
All right.
Come around the edges.
So on your side, we have a one piece of impassable terrain. We have an obstacle. We have a height 3 hill, right?
It's a token.
It denotes like magic or items and stuff. Or
What do they have?
oh,
They have Brew of Haste.
they have brew of haste, so +1 to their movement. Do those guys have anything?
Yeah. Elite.
Elite. Ooh. Whatever that is.
No, whatever the magic item's called.
Oh, okay,
That's
okay.
the one that gives them all.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you
I
you
forget
face
what
the
it's called.
elves all the time. You know, elite is
I
the
know what
bane of your
elite is, but-
elite's the bane of your
I don't know what the
existence.
magic item's called.
We have a height 3 hill, right?
Yeah.
Height 3. Then we have on my side we have a forest, which we're saying is height 4, right? Yeah. We have a height 1 hill here, and then another height 4 forest. So we'll go ahead and show you guys what the elves. Got a unit of Therenian Sea Guard, a elven mage over here. He's got some lightning bolt, which is cool. A little troop of Palace Guard, a troop of not Stormwind Cav. What's the other group?
Sea Breeze.
Silver Breeze.
Silver Breeze, something
Cav.
like that.
That's right. Sea Breeze. That was a good drink. And
It's elves.
of Hunters of the Wild.
I'm calling them Sea Breeze from now on.
Sea Breeze Cav.
Definitely Sea Breeze Gav.
These guys have Breath of Keen Eye. They have Quicksilver Rapier, I believe. I gave them Jar of the Four Winds. I don't know why I gave them Jar of the Four Winds.
Because they shoot.
You put like 7 shots.
I know. I don't know.
36-inch range. I don't know what I was thinking.
There's probably points.
And I'm pretty sure I gave Hunters of the Wild Elite because
They have umbrella drinks. Sea
Yeah,
Breeze
we got
Gav.
Sea Breeze drinks. Don't worry about this.
So they
We
can
got
see
this.
them before they get there.
And yeah, it's pretty much my deployment.
Nice.
So we pretty much went ahead and combined both of our turns on this just because it's 1,000 points. We have 4 units on both sides, so it's a pretty quick movement and shooting and combat. So we combined some of the turns just to make it the bat rip go a little more streamlined. This first move, pretty much all I did is I moved my Sea Guard into the forest. I wanted to get that -1, have him lose his Thunderous Charge if he decided he was going to charge me. And also, I moved into the forest so that way I could get actually be able to shoot him because the forest is height 4. I wouldn't be able to shoot through it. So moved into the forest so I could shoot. I have my mage on the right side there so I can provide some more shots at the Brock Riders. Really want to get rid of those Brock Riders quick. And moved my turn in. Looked like I turned in and pretty much bravely running away with my Palace Guard. That was my whole goal, was to have something in the middle of the board and then move everything out of the middle of the board because as it looked like he had deployed most of his stuff in the middle of the board. So that's what I did, and was kind of waiting until he got a little closer before I moved my Silver Breeze Cav and my Hunters of the Wild. Was going to try and really flank him, as I was pretty much going to try and do. Since I knew I had the speed and the range on a lot of things, I was going to try and draw his forces into the middle there with a weak center and then try and flank him on both sides. As far as what Tom did, he pretty much tried to counter what I was doing. He was going to move his Brock Riders out of there because they had taken some shots. He wanted to keep them alive. He was pretty much going He was pretty much going to collapse his battle line, make it stronger in the middle. Is what I pretty much got from what he was going to do. So by turn 2, neither one of us had killed anything. I had put a couple wounds on his Brock Riders. He had moved Spheri up in the middle there and moved his Brock Riders up in the middle there. The spearhead approach that he was trying to do, he was trying to crush that middle line. Maybe give my Therian Sea Guard more than one target to shoot at and try and divide my forces so I didn't really know what to flank. I think it worked fairly well. I think this was just a tough matchup for him because I had some really fast units on the board. Obviously faster than him because almost everything's faster than Dwarves. And he really couldn't get to me in time before I either shot him or was able to charge him. So it was definitely different as far as his tactics. He had to try and play the range and movement game, and it was difficult to do because he has the Dwarves. And they are kind of short on both.
All right, so the end of turn 2, we went ahead and again combined the turns because
Makes it quicker.
It does.
It's 1,000 points. And so far, he's just dancing.
I'm just dancing.
Dancing elf.
I'm using my speed to my advantage, so making those little dwarf legs run. And we mentioned this in the bat rep that got canned, but I think it's ironic that I play the Elves, which are a tall, thin race. And you play the Dwarfs, which are in no way, they're the only thing they're challenging is vertically. They're definitely vertically challenged. They got some little legs. I just think that's ironic because you're obviously very tall and I'm very short. I just think there's some irony there. Anyway, so so you moved up. You refaced your riflemen. You refaced your Brock Riders. And all I did was pivoted and moved, which now I'm going to have to pivot and move it again. And then I think I moved my Palace Guard as well. We're just kind of dancing, like trying to figure out.
Just trying to get a hold of the dwarf or the elves.
Yeah.
And it's not really.
It's
kind of hard to do.
It's interesting, very interesting. So, we'll go on to turn 3. Man, this game's going into turn 3. We haven't done anything yet. Let's go to turn 3.
It's the elves.
All right.
They have to do nothing.
Right.
So, just in case any of you guys are wondering, Spheri is a regular infantry model on the board. We do realize that he is not that, actually. He is a large cav, I think, or a large infantry, one of the two. And we both know this. We just like the model that's on the board. We both agreed on using that model. We like the way it looks. We feel that it's more cinematic, and unfortunately for this game, it's one of the only models on the board that is actually painted. So we like it, and that's why it's on the board. Again, sorry for those of you that know this channel well. We really love this game, but we hate painting. So we try and paint as much as we can, which unfortunately doesn't happen a whole lot because we'd rather play a game than paint. So please, our apologies. Please forgive us for not having stuff painted like we should. We are sorry. If you do not like the fact that things are not painted, then you can either send us money to have us send it to a service and get them painted, or there are many other wonderful channels on this on YouTube that we support and that have great painted armies. A lot of amazing channels out there. So anyway, real quick, I shot at the Brock Riders again, turned and faced, and even with the -1 for turning and facing, I still plinked them off pretty good. They ended up dying. Charged in to the other Brock Riders, doing pretty good. I was just trying to take care of his fast units, trying to avoid those riflemen, move my Silver Breeze back so they're out of the way so they couldn't get shot from the riflemen, and just trying to move guys up to pummel the middle line there.
All right, so
see that? Full beard? No spill.
Nice.
it's almost dry. Almost. This is not an advertisement for or in any way supporting Public Service Credit Union. Okay. Anyway, so turn, what we at? Top turn 3. Elves got a little killing going on. And of course, me as an elf player, I have to listen to how my army's broken. But
Elite's broken. I'm not saying your army's broken. I'm just saying elite for magic, ranged, and melee. It's just
it is an oversight that I wonder about sometimes.
it's strange.
I guess if I was playing other elves, being like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Exactly. Imagine
But since I don't play other elves.
Somebody was like,
The big
elite for
question
magic.
is, he has another army that he can't play, or 2 other armies he can't play because they're not viable, because he can't win with them. but he always wins with the Elves, and then decides to always play the Elves because the Elves win. Does that make you wonder if the Elves are just a better army than all the other armies out there?
True. Or maybe I'm just better at that army because I played it more.
Yeah, I've played it a lot more.
I've played the Elves a lot.
Pretty sure the Elite Crutch, we just saw what happens.
So
he
let's
rolls like
let's
20
re-
dice, and he gets like 10 hits, which is average in force. But then he has Elite Crutch, so he gets up to 15 hits. And then he rolls again, and then he gets a lead on that. And then he has Magic, which he gets, oh, I rolled kind of bad, but Elite saves it. So the Elite Crutch saves it.
So let's talk about those Brock Riders.
Yeah.
They're dead. So
You know why? Elite. Exactly why. Like
and a 9 on the nerve roll too.
It should have been.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Above average nerve roll. So the Brock Riders got shot down. The elf mage and the Sea Guard shot him down. It was bad. Over here, did 7 wounds. Missed 3. 3 out of 10. That was.
What's the odds there?
We figure what? 3s to hit, rerolling 1s.
Not real
Missed.
ones, just straight odds.
Oh god, 70%. Of missing 3 out of 10.
No,
I'm
what's the
sorry,
odds
of hitting
actually,
with.
if you had a
Of
basic
hitting.
army, not Elves.
Out of 3s, probably like 60%. And I hit with 70%. Right? I don't know. Somebody who's a math major, figure that out and let us know. Anyway, so did some wounds on them. Obviously, it's not enough to kill the Brock Riders because they're
Drink beer.
like Fearless 22. So they are going to die. Backed up and did nothing to the Riflemen because my fast cav is not meant to kill Riflemen. So
I don't know if it's meant to kill anything.
it's meant to be annoying.
Yeah.
It's meant to be annoying, and it's 145 points of annoying. Well, actually, no. Mine is 180 because I gave him Jar of the Four Winds.
Oh, yeah.
180 because I gave him Jar of the Four Winds, which is just dumb. But anyway, yeah. So we'll go ahead and go to bottom of turn 3. So Tom ends up obviously countercharging or charging back in with his Brock Riders to take care of the Palace Guard. And then I believe he charges also in with his with Spheri. At this point, we have a nice long discussion about how there's really no way he can win because even if he takes out that middle line, he's got to choose whether or not to come and attack the Sea Guard, who will shoot him down, or try and turn around and attack the Hunters of the Wild. So pretty much at this point, those Brock Riders have already got 7 wounds on them. I can shoot them from where I am. They're going to get shot. They're going to get shot down probably either way. He pretty much says that there's really, really small chance that that he is going to be able to win. So we rolled to see whether or not Spheri gets captured by me or not, and he does not. He does not get captured. So Spheri runs away or doesn't get captured or fights his way out of it or whatever we want to say. And unfortunately for me, I don't get to capture him. Yeah. We called it. The Elves did some work. The last turn did not go too well. Spheri did not get captured, though. He got away. He bravely ran away. Or something. I guess slaughtered somebody and got away. Yeah. So they got away. So from here on out, then, the storyline will go a certain way. Pretty much the next battle is actually going to have a detachment of ogres showing up. And then do we want to do ogres against whom? We can do it against dwarves. We can do it against whomever. We'll figure that out, and you guys will see that in the next bat rep. It'll probably be 1,000 points of both as well, because they're going to be either 1,000 points of dwarves kind of figuring out what's going on, or it's going to be 1,000 points of another army. They're all still testing each other out right now on the same island. So we'll go ahead and get that bat rep going. So. The fog began to lift from the battlefield. The dwarves were tending to the wounded and burying the warriors that would now go on to eternal glory. The elves had fought with sheer cunning and an insurmountable amount of anger. The small skirmish had cost the dwarves greatly. Spheri had underestimated his opponent, that only hours before was one of their strongest allies. The elves attacked without clarity. They didn't even ask about their fallen general.
Spheri was never given the opportunity to tell the elves what their battle brother's final words were. All he simply said was, "A peace still remains." Spheri had begun to contemplate the meaning of the phrase when the battle horns wailed. They were attacking again. Spheri ran to the map that had been made of the island. The topography had been intended to help process natural resources, but only hours earlier its purpose changed to bloodshed. The garrison of troops on the island had begun to mobilize. New symbols on the map showed makeshift battle lines. The left flank was close to the shore and was one of the weakest parts of the line. The worst part was that Spheri would have to wait before he could send for more troops, because he was again in charge of leading those into battle. He would not rest today after all. Spheri marched from his canvas tent and expected to see the beautifully armored and disciplined march of the elves. But instead, he heard the snarling and yelling as the ground began to shake. He looked up in time to see the enormous war cloud rising in front of his men. These sights and sounds could only mean one thing. The ogres were coming.